Has anyone ever shown you how to turn an old phone charger like this into a homemade antenna device? If not, today you'll get to see exactly how I managed to make it happen. The first step is using a knife to pry open the charger and work on the circuit board inside. To safely remove the circuit board from inside the charger, I'll use pliers to grip the board and carefully pull it out gently. And the circuit board is a crucial component, responsible for decoding and filtering signals for the antenna device. To connect it to other parts, simply focus on these two contact points and solder 2 additional copper wires directly to them. There's probably someone who has never worked with soldering before, so I'll explain it a little. The idea is actually pretty simple. The goal is to let the solder melt and bond evenly to the connection point, creating a stronger joint and helping signals pass more reliably. With careful handling, a steady hand, and a close look at the solder point, the process becomes much easier to follow. These 2 short copper wires I've prepared are both 15 centimeters long, just enough to connect the circuit board to the router signal receiving part, without having to worry about what size to use. To easily route the other ends of the 2 copper wires out through the charger cover, I'll drill 2 small holes on the charger casing. After drilling the 2 holes in the charger cover, I'll now place the circuit board back into its original position inside the charger. Next, I have a bowl filled with fluorescent tubes. I think we can pick any 2 of these tubes to act as an intermediate component, helping the router receive signals more effectively. I then prepare 2 more copper wires, longer than the previous ones, and shape them into a coil. The purpose is to take advantage of the spiral structure in signal reception and transmission. When the wire is coiled, its electrical length increases within a small space, which improves its ability to capture signals. At the same time, the coil structure also helps stabilize signal oscillations and reduce interference, thereby significantly enhancing signal reception efficiency. The remaining copper wire from the signal receiving router, I will fix onto one copper pin of the fluorescent tube. For the remaining copper pin of the fluorescent tube, I will secure it to the other end of the copper wire. This is a portable power strip, very convenient to use as a base for the antenna, both securely holding the charger in place and helping connect it with the coaxial cable. This is a coaxial cable. Its function is to transmit signals between components, helping the connection and signal reception process remain more stable. One end of the coaxial cable will be connected to the portable power strip, while the other end will be prepared to connect to the TV. For the cable end being prepared to connect to the TV, I will also install a straight F connector and another 90-degree F connector. so the homemade antenna structure is now complete. Overall, it looks quite unusual, doesn't it? But the important thing is that its performance is expected to be very promising. Now I'll take the whole setup out for a real-world test right away to see how it performs. Before connecting the antenna device to the TV, I'll first check the TV so everyone can clearly see that it is currently receiving no signal, helping avoid any suspicion that the results were prepared or staged beforehand. Although the screen displayed an image very quickly right after the connection, let's keep watching for a little longer to check whether the system is working stably or not. After observing for a while, I decided to go behind the TV, unplug the connection, and plug it back in to check whether the system would continue working stably. After real-world testing, what surprised me most wasn't how complex the homemade antenna setup was, but rather the two parts that initially seemed to have almost no value, the old phone charger and the fluorescent tube. When reused and properly connected, they didn't just act as intermediate components, but also helped stabilize the signal path, significantly reduce interference, and noticeably improve reception performance. The final result went far beyond what I originally expected. And perhaps the most important takeaway here is that sometimes performance doesn't come from complex or expensive parts, but from truly understanding and properly utilizing the simple everyday items around us.